Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meals. One of my favorite things to make for breakfast or for any other meal actually is a Dutch baby. Now Dutch baby I've made before, but I found several recipes lately for Dutch babies where instead of having to heat the pan in the oven for half an hour to get it up to heat, you start from a cold oven. So I'm going to try that and see how it comes out. First off, you start with 2 large eggs. And just get those whisked up a little bit, to which I'm going to add a cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Now this is unsalted melted butter because that's what I had, and I was planning to add salt anyway. If you use salted butter, I would not add salt, but I'm going to add just about a half teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm going to mix that up, and to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to do it 1/4 cup at a time. Try to keep the lumps to a minimum. This would be something you could do in a blender or with a beater, and it would be a lot easier to keep the lumps down. But not everybody's going to have that, so I wanted to show you can do it this way also. Now, the same mixture could also be used to make a popover. If you wanted to do these in a cupcake pan or something like that, just remember to boil it well. Now, a lot of versions of this, you would have the oil screaming hot before you even started to cook it. In this case, we're going to have a minimum of oil in the pan. We're just going to spray it with a little oil because we're putting it in a cold oven. And our final 1/4 cup. I'm going to take a spatula and go around the bottom edges just to make sure that I haven't gotten any flour stuck in there. I don't think I have, but just to be sure, I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. It seems to make a difference if you let it sit. The longer you sit, the better it rises, generally. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to cook it. It's been 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pour in the batter. Once you're a fan of this, you don't want to waste any of it. And now, to this, I'm going to add some dates. Now, this is just a sweet version, but for a savory version, you could certainly add ham and cheese. I've seen asparagus. I've seen all sorts of different additions to a Dutch baby to make a savory version as well as a sweet. Sweet version, I've done strawberries, apples, bananas, all sorts of different things, and they really all come out great. I just happen to like dates best, even if they are sticky. For some reason, when they cook into this, they seem to bring out the flavor better of the egg custard that forms at the bottom of this, which is basically what you end up with. It's a custardy base with an interesting crust on the outside edge, if you want to call it a crust. Now, once it's ready, all we really have to do is put it in the oven at 450 degrees, starting from a cold oven, for 25 to 30 minutes. Then we'll come back and we're going to lower the temperature to 350 at that point and cook it for another 10 to 20 minutes. After 25 minutes, this is where we stand with the Dutch baby. It was started in a cold oven. It reached temperature about 8 minutes ago. Now I'm going to lower my temperature to 375, well, 375, and set the clock for another 10 minutes, but I'm going to check it at that point. I don't think it'll be ready for probably another 15 or 20. Okay, there we have it. A Dutch baby started from a cold oven to completion in about 35 minutes, which is actually pretty good. By the time you start the oven, get it to 450, put it in to the warm oven and take it out, you've actually got closer to probably 45 to 50 minutes. So it actually appears to be taking a little less power. I'm gonna let it cool for just a minute, and then we'll pull it out and we're gonna test it. I'm gonna move it over a little bit. Put a plate right there. Okay, I'm gonna cut it. It's got a nice thick custardy middle. Now if I had not put dates in this, I would have probably put powdered sugar on top. You also could put vanilla into it while you're cooking it. I didn't do that either, but that would also have an impact on the flavor. So, that looks like a nice cut. I'm going to take this and try and get a piece out. Spilled a few dates. I don't want to waste those. So there we have it. See the thick, fairly thick custard, but notice how it's already, the sides are already shrinking. It's one of the things about a Dutch baby. It rises on the edges and then kind of sags after you take it out. When you're cooking it, you should be a little careful about opening and closing the oven, because a little too much sound, the vibration can make it sink too, kind of like a quiche. But it's a beautiful pastry. Now what I'm going to do with it, my syrup of choice is golden syrup, which is just really tasty, kind of buttery. I'm going to add that on top to make it even more delicious. And now we have a really great breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. But I think you'll enjoy it. Hope you try it. Let me know how you do. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.